Alright, hey guys, it's AETyugioh here, and today I'll be doing a Spellbook prophecy build deck profile, and I actually have a judgment out because I want to start this video off by saying I think it will be coming back. I just want my opinion to be out there that I don't think it's as broken as people seem to think it is. It's really at 1, it's not that broken, especially with Fate at 1, because then going into Fate, every other turn is actually pretty hard to get over for most people, so I understand why this was banned, because Fate was 2 at the time, but I think Fate at 1 and this at 1 would make this deck more live, because granted it's still good right now, but it's not tier 1, and adding this back won't make it tier 0. So I don't understand why it's still banned with Fate at 1, but we'll see what happens when the new ban list comes out in the next couple of months. And let's get into our boss monster here. I do triple High Priestess. Triple High Priestess because with the hands and artifacts, you don't want to be field nuking and giving them more field presence than you. So this is more of a safe way to do it. If you realize they have artifacts, you're not going to be blowing up whatever they got in their back row. You'll just use your wisdoms to protect your High Priestess, and you'll blow up whatever monsters they have and just keep attacking until you can't, or they lose, I guess. I mean, it's pretty easy to get around artifacts if you're not blowing up the back row, so the triple High Priestess is your best option, I think, for the boss monster right now. And then the standard triple Blue Boy. Spellbook Magician's good. You get him first turn, you go into Secret, go from Secret to Master, go from Master to probably a Tower or something, because you want as many of the spellbooks in your graveyard as possible in case you need to banish something, or you just want to be able to recycle and get the secondary draw engine with a Tower going. So you just want to keep throwing them into the graveyard because you can recycle in this deck really easy. It's not hard at all. And for the last prophecy monster I play, I do the triple Temperance. I know a lot of people have been doing Justice because it adds the book and boss monster to your hand, but I like this because it's a first turn High Priestess, and if you can drop first turn High Priestess and protect it, you're gonna have field presence and control of the game for quite some time, maybe even win just based off that Priestess right away. So that's why this is, in my opinion, the best one, because the problem with Justice is in the end phase you tribute him, so that means he's gone, and this isn't special summon, you just get it to your hand as well as another spellbook, which for the next turn it could set you up, but you don't want to have no field presence because you're already going to be have limited monsters already. So that's why I do the triple Temperance over the double or triple Justice. And then for the non-prophecy monsters, I do a double Effect Veiler, because I think with Effect Veiler you can usually stop your opponent for 1 turn. With say they're like, oh, it's a normal summon Mewfwheel. If you're playing Madolches, Effect Veiler when they bring out the Angeli, and the Angeli's just sitting there as well as the Mewfwheel. So they got 2 pretty low attack monsters just chilling out on the field for you to go ham on. And same with Light Sworns, you stop the JD from blowing up the field. Say they can get rid of this, there's a good chance that you could use a Secret or a Spellbook Magician to get a life and bring back the High Priestess the next turn and just get rid of JD, because JD you don't want to mess with for too long. So I do the double Effect Veiler, and that's it for the monster lineup actually. I only run 11 monsters in here, which for a Spellbook deck is pretty standard, I think. I feel like if you run just the 9 prophecy monsters, you're probably not going to be as effective as using Effect Veiler or even Max C's where you can draw more. Then we go into our spellbooks. I got the triple Secret. Secret is great because you can search out this guy. If you need to get your plays rolling, these 2 cards are going to be your 2 you go to, because this is going to search out this can go into Master, or this is going to search out the Blue Boy, use the Blue Boy to search out Master, and just start filling up your graveyard with cards that are going to be able to recycle. So in this deck, having a lot of spellbooks in the graveyard is incredibly good, because that means you use them, you got your use, and if you need to banish for High Priestess or for Fate, then by all means do it, because you can always recycle with Eternity. And then I also do the triple Crescent. I like running triple Crescent. A lot of people like to complain about this card because it's not that great. Sure, it's not the best card in the deck, but it's a free target for you to banish the High Priestess. Get rid of their troublesome card or something that you just don't want on the field right now. Such as a lot of people like to play DNA Surgery against this deck. So just get rid of the DNA Surgery. And I mean, this card isn't dead with how I run the deck, because with Tower you can recycle, and then with Fate you can banish, and there shouldn't be any point in time in the game, unless you're trying to build up your graveyard to have Spellbook Tower maybe get you a High Priestess to your hand, which I don't, maybe would work, I don't know. But yeah, Crescent's pretty good at 3, because it's 3 free banishes pretty much, because sometimes you don't get your use out, but if you do and you can banish it, it's great. Then the double Tower, it's pretty standard for a Spellbook build, but I really like it because you can get a Spellcaster to your hand, so that could set you up for next turn Temperance into the Priestess, or maybe even just into a Blue Boy to start searching off more cards if that's what you need right then. It all depends on your situation, really, but yeah, the double Tower is really good in here. I'd say it's too much at 3 because it's not essential to win. It is your extra draw power though. Double Master, you don't need 3. 2 is perfect because you can keep searching it out, and mostly what you do is first turn you want to get it, copy secrets, and go and search off the Tower, or maybe if you have Tower of Power or Wisdom, because you don't want to have no cards in your graveyard, and if you only have the one, your opponent could banish it or something. You just want more Spellbooks in your graveyard. The more the merrier, in all honesty, because then you can Fade, get rid of some problem card your opponent's got. And Master's good because you can double up the powers 1,000, so you can get 2,000 off of the Master and Power. For the next, I got the double Wisdom, because you want to have Wisdom to protect your High Priestess. If you can protect your High Priestess on the turn you drop it, it's probably going to be out there because you can keep recycling your Wisdom pretty easy. And I run 2 because I like to be able to protect my High Priestess. High Priestess is too important right now for you to not protect it. So double Wisdom, and not to mention you usually end up banishing off one of them anyways. So having 2 of these is perfect, I think. 3 might be too many because you can always search it out. And then I do the double Eternity. Eternity is nice because if you really need it, you can always use Eternity and then use Master to copy Eternity to get another thing back, because sometimes you end up banishing cards that you really don't want gone, such as your Wisdom, or maybe a secret if you want your secret, and sometimes even Tower gets banished. I mean, it really depends on what your game situation is and how you're faring against your opponent. So the double Eternity, I think, because if you end up banishing one, you definitely are going to need that second one. And then I do the double Power right now. I do double Power because Judgment's not back yet. I really strongly believe it will be. So when Judgment comes back, I'm going to take out 1 power. But until Judgment's back, 2 power is perfect because you can banish it. I mean, with 2 power, you always banish 1 and keep the second one usually, because you can use the 1,000, and then once you're done with it, banish it off, get rid of your opponent's bullshit that you don't want to deal with, and you still got the other one to hang on to, and there's always the Eternity to get it back. And then there's also the Master. In this deck you can recycle pretty easy, so at any point in time you can bump up your monster's attack another 2,000. Like, there are a lot of times where I get Priestess to 4,500 or Blue Boy to 2,500, just because you want to get those extra searches and you want to get over something. So I usually use the Power and Master together. Very rarely I'll use the Master for anything other than Power, except for first turn going from Secret searching something else. And then for the one-off spellbooks, I do obviously the fake because it's limited. It's too good to not play at all, because you banish your crescents, your power, something else that you don't need right now, and you can get rid of something. The biggest target for this card to banish right now is probably Beals, because Beals can't be destroyed by battle and all that crap. So I usually just use that, banish 3, get rid of Beals. Don't got to deal with him anymore, at least for that point in time. And then you do the 1 life. Life is good in this deck because you want to get High Priestess on the field, or when you're siding in the world, you go into the world, because if you have 2 more spell books in your hand with different names and you have 2 more in the graveyard with different names, go into the world, it's a field nuke. Or if you just want to get back a High Priestess, because this goes, this card stays. So it's like you have 4 priestesses in your deck unless they start banishing them, but most people can't banish all 3 priestesses, so that's why you book a life the priestess. And then I have 1 spell card that's not spellbooks, and that's the Book of Moon, so I can get the extra search off of Blue Boy and not lose life points. Also, if you want to get over your opponent's monster and your priestess can't do it on its own, a priestess can do that for you, or maybe even a Mirror Force priestess. You don't have a wisdom, it's like a wisdom that turn. You just flip it down and it's not destroyed. So Book of Moon in this deck is actually probably one of the most overpowered cards. And then now we're onto our trap lineup, and we got the for the extra draw engine, I got the triple reckless, because duality in this deck really messes you up, because I find that when I did do duality, I would always end up getting into temperance but not being able to use temperance's effect that turn. So I'd be sitting with an empty field because I don't want to waste my temperance to go into a boss monster. So the reckless greed in this deck is really good, because you can get the 2 draws, and then with the tower you still get a draw on a turn, because most people aren't going to destroy the tower just because they don't want you getting out of temperance to go into High Priestess. So greed in this deck is really good. Then for the battle traps, I got 2 Mirror Force. Sometimes people aren't expecting it. Most people expect cards like Divine Wrath, Fiendish Chain, and Raigeki Break to be down, so most people don't worry about Mirror Force in this deck for some reason, which is kind of foolish, I think. But you have the Mirror Forces in here for the extra field clearance, because sometimes you need to get rid of stuff before you can drop High Priestess or World, or you just want to be able to not worry about whatever monsters they got out. And then double Fiendish. I really like this in this deck because I already have the 2 Veiler, so that's 4 cards that stop effects. And with Light Sworns, Madolches, and pretty much every meta deck right now, you got to worry about the first 2 turns. If you can stop them on the first 1 or 2 turns with this or Effect Veiler and get rid of that problem card, this is gonna get you places. And one card that I know is really annoying for this deck is Judgment Dragon, because it's the field nuke. You put this out, and you already have High Priestess, and you put that on Judgment Dragon. This can't get blown up and it can't attack, so the next turn you can just get rid of the Judgment Dragon and you use your Fiendish Chain to its full potential. And you always feel good when you can do that. Then I got for my discards, I got 2 Raigeki Break. I like this as opposed to Divine Wrath, but I always have the double Divine Wrath in my side deck right now. And if I needed a Divine Wrath, I side these out because it's almost the same thing. Because with this, you mostly just worry about monsters, is what I do. Or if they have 1 Speller Trap, get rid of the Speller Trap, but it's usually the monsters you get rid of with this. And then for our last trap card, I got the Compulse. Some monsters you really just don't want to deal with, such as like Beals, Madolche, Queen Tiramisu, and even Michael from the Light Sworns. They're all really annoying, so you just use this, get rid of them. It's pretty self-explanatory. They lose their materials to get that card, and that card goes back to their deck. So I mean, I'd rather Solemn Warning it, but Solemn Warning takes life points, so that's why I play the Compulse. And I mean, and with this deck, you don't want to be losing your life points because you only have 11 monsters, and the chances are you're going to be having the Blue Boy or a Temperance out there holding down the field for a turn or two. So you really want to have as many life points as possible. So that's why you don't do the warning in this deck. Let me go into what I have for an extra deck right now. The only rank 7 I got is Hierophant because I don't like overlaying my 2 High Priestesses, just because 2 High Priestesses you can banish 2 cards and get rid of 2 cards. With Hierophant, all you can do is detach 1 and get rid of their back row for as many Spellbook cards as you have in your graveyard. And with how I run the deck, it's not very consistent. I usually have maybe 1 or 2, so it could be good at times, but I mostly just have that there very situationally. Then for the rank 2s, I got Gachi, pretty standard rank 2, I guess. Nothing really special. I don't usually go into him at all. He's just kind of there. Same thing with Shining Elf. I mean, I will go into him at times, but he's mostly just there too. And Herald of Pure Light I'll go into from time to time if I want another search. I'll get rid of my Blue Boy, get back the Blue Boy to my hand, and it also helps if you're doing the World Engine, because then you can shuffle this back into your deck and it becomes alive again. So Herald of Pure Light's good in this deck. And then the last rank 2 I have right now is Ghost Trick Succubus, because Succubus is a spellcaster, and you can get its attack up to 3,400, and then you can detach and get rid of a card on their side of the field or a monster on their side of the field, and as long as this is on the field they can't put anything there. So Succubus is pretty good right now, especially since it's a spellcaster in here. And then I really want to get a Downer Magician for this deck, but I just haven't been able to find one at locals yet recently, or at all. So I'm gonna keep on looking for a Downer Magician, because that is extremely good in here, because you can get Succubus's effect off, overlay the Downered, and that's a 2,500 attack usually, because you'll still have this and the other Xyz material on this card, and then the Downer Magician's got 2,500, and you can get it up to 4,500, and it does piercing damage, so that could end up being game if you do that. I don't really have much more to say. Just please like this video and subscribe to our channel, and thank you for watching.